someone's looking to sabotage the Exquisite mini series. Here's your look at the brand new Hiya Toys G.I. Joe Cobra Saboteur Firefly. The Exquisite mini-series Firefly action figure stands at 105 millimeters tall and is based on the original appearance design of G.I. Joe's Special Forces. Firefly's combat suit is equipped with multiple pockets and hooks, allowing him to carry various tactical equipment and tools. He holds a black pistol and carries explosives and drone remote-controlled devices, ready to execute a wide range of missions. The fine detailed accessories include the pistol, tactical backpack, drone, and explosive pack are all faithfully reproduced even in the small 1/18th scale. If you're looking to enlist the help of Firefly, expect to pay a pretty price. Luckily, though, if you're looking to get your hands on the Firefly figure from Hiya Toys, don't expect to pay as much. The figure is available right now online for $39.99. I'd like to thank the folks over at Hiya that did provide this sample of Cobra's Saboteur that we could have a look at in this review. Firefly is going to stand at 4 inches in height, or the figure is going to stand about 10 centimeters tall. And as for the Cobras, they're willing to pay his price. Here's first what the figure looks like with Cobra Commander. And here's also what he looks like with Destro. He's not nearly as tall as Cobra Commander. He's not nearly as tall as Destro. He's a little bit shorter than both. Firefly does get packed with some pretty cool stuff. First, the figure does have a rectangular display stand featuring some pretty cool looking terrain. The terrain, though, isn't that much different from the one we got from Destro. And in fact, it's actually identical to the one we got from Cobra Commanders. Destro, as you can see, there's a lot less casings. Both Firefly and Cobra Commander have the identical ones. They seem to be ones that Joe's are taking the most shots at. The terrains themselves do connect other than just tapping them together like this. If you look at actually the bottom of them, there's slots on the sides. There's slots here and here as well. You get these eye brackets. The eye brackets are simple to install. You could really use 2 if you want. I think one is more than enough. Just take one and attach then the other display stand to that. Line everything up. And now you got 2 instead of just the 1. We'll do the exact same thing on this side as well, and I'm actually going to put it in the middle just so you guys can see. It doesn't have to be that you have to follow the format of, them lining up with one another. You just take, again, the eye brackets. This one, I don't know. There we go. And again, now you got 3 panels all molded together, all assembled together. And then, of course, you can place your Cobras on top of that. It's pretty cool. Moving that off to the side. Then Firefly does also come included with some swappable hands. Now, the hands that he has right now, one is a relaxed hand. One is a trigger-firing finger hand. The figure does also come included with a slightly smaller hand. I think the only thing I could really see this Firefly using this hand for is perhaps holding the bottom carriage of the drone. And then this hand here, he has a more relaxed hand. Again, it's just a case of popping off the hands that he has right now. I'm going to leave them on for right now. The figure does also come included with a pistol. It's a pretty cool-looking pistol. It's molded here, I'm guessing, in black plastic. I'm also guessing that they probably added a wash of gray over top of that. Just a cool-looking gun. Of course, you can put it into his hands. The figure does already have a trigger-firing finger hand. Just take the pistol. Get that wedged all in there. There we go. And then the figure can be displayed with that. While he's packing heat, some of the other things the figure does also come included with is a backpack. Now, the backpack is going to play some significant role when it comes to displaying the figure with other accessories. The pack itself, again, molded in black plastic. There seems to be some tools there up the top, a wrench, a screwdriver. Yeah, I did see they fell. Some pliers down below there as well. None of them are obviously removable, but at least they're nicely molded. The pack itself, if you look on the back of the figure's body, there's a hole right here. Now, one thing I did notice, though, putting the pack on his back, rhyming that, I didn't notice that the pack doesn't stay completely on there well. I really feel like you have to twist it to get it on there, and even then, I feel like it sits a little on the loose side. The pack also does have some storage space as well for the following accessories. The figure does have a stick of dynamite, nicely molded here. My guess is it's probably molded here in red plastic, and then they painted the bands in black. It's hard to make this out, but right here and right here, there are holes. It's a lot easier, I'm sure, to see that if I move my fingers out of the way. If you look at the bottom of the pack, he has these little prong pieces. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but you can line these up, providing, of course, you find the holes again, right there and right there. Just line up the stick of dynamite, and that plugs onto the bottom of it. It seems to plug, though, better on one side than it does the other. There's something about this hole right here that I can't quite get the peg to be completely fitted in place. I mean, it does hold the stick of dynamite, but it doesn't hold it well. It holds it better on this side. It doesn't hold it as well on this side. I'm going to see if maybe I can take myself a very small little needle, see if I can dowel out the hole a little bit better. There are also these little slots here on the top, and those slots serve a role when you get the next following accessory. The figure does come included with this pretty cool looking drone. The drone has fold out legs, and then he has VTOL little fans there on the top that allow this thing to move around. Unfortunately, though, other than just holding it with your hand, there really isn't any other thing that you could do with the drone. Had there been maybe a hole right here, for example, and a little tiny post with stand, you could have attached the drone onto that, and it would then look like it was flying around Firefly. Without that, you really don't have anything that you can really do with the drone other than just kind of holding it like this, or of course you can also attach it onto his backpack. Going back to those ideas of slots on the provided top here, you take the legs of the drone and you fold them forward. Once you have them forward, spin this around, and then you're going to take this piece, and you're going to take the little bombs of the legs here, little struts. This might be a lot easier if I just remove the dynamite for right now. Take those little struts and you line them up with those holes. It's not an easy thing to do, but once you get them plugged in place, now he has himself the drone stored away on the top of his backpack. You would then believe that at any given point, he could then use his remote control, activate the drone. The drone would just simply detach on the back of the backpack and then fly around Firefly. Of course, then take your stick of dynamite. Where's the holes? Where's the holes? He says, right there. Okay, just plug that in place. And now he has, again, all the storage space that he ever would need. The only thing that he doesn't have a place for, if I get this back onto his back here, is the one other thing that the figure does have. Oh, he's not going to stand. He's not going to stand, perhaps, with a backpack. We'll come back to that. The figure also comes included with a remote control for the drone, which, of course, can fit into his hands. But there's no hole on this. There's nothing that would suggest the idea that this could be attached onto the figure's body. I was kind of looking around. I'm thinking, I'm sure Hiya has thought this out, included something on the figure that you could then take the remote, holster on the side or something along those lines, but there's no hole on the back of this. So you can either put this in his hand or you're just out of luck. With that all being said, though, let's go ahead and just remove all his accessories. Let's go back and actually put the backpack on there. I did want to show you guys what that at least looks like. Take again that post, do your best to fit that into his hole. There we go. And now again, you've got your storage of both the drone and the stick of dynamite. Looks really cool. Something also I was pleasantly surprised to see. We just removed this right now. Firefly's goggles there on the top are actually removable. They weren't as easy to remove right away. I actually noticed that they were stuck sort of on the sides here. They probably may put just a little bit of adhesive just to ensure that the goggles weren't going to fall off. If you don't like the look of Firefly with the goggles, it's just a case of removing the goggles altogether, and then you have more of a traditional looking classic Firefly instead. The same rule also applies that you can take yourself the goggles and you can fit them down over front of his face, which isn't, again, the easiest thing to do, but it is possible. Just something like that. Nice look to it. The only problem is, once you've done this the first time, these goggles do sit a little loose. This has happened a couple of times, in fact, actually, where I was moving the figure around, especially for his head, and then I found myself kind of removing the goggles and then looking around, like, where did I drop the goggles? Had to find them a little bit later. So the actual look to Firefly is still pretty a classic look to the character. The one thing, though, that they have added over top of his traditional costume is this SWAT suit vest. The vest does have some stored away grenades on the sides. It also has a large shoulder pad on the side. It looks really, again, like something that's there for bomb disposal, which would make sense for a character like Firefly. It does add, though, a little bit of extra bulk to the character. Ideally, I would have liked if there would have been a way that you could have removed the vest. Had there been maybe like snaps on the side or something you could have detached, just remove this altogether, because it does add extra volume to the look of the character. It's nicely detailed for what it is. He's got tons of pockets there on the front. He's got the little flap there on the front. Again, like, it looks very much like a bomb disposal unit suit. I do like the way they've handled the camouflage on the gray costume. Mostly done here all in black. Got the knee pads down below here. Very large looking boots. There's some decent levels of articulation that we'll talk more about in a moment. Yeah, all in all, a nice looking Firefly. As much as I don't love the look of the SWAT vest here, the bomb disposal vest, it works, I suppose, well with the character of Firefly. He's one that handles explosives, after all. Considering the fact he's also packing it too, you'd like to think that he's going to be properly prepared and protected for that. Now for the figure's articulation, going back to Firefly's head. Head's going to be on a ball joint, so it allows the head to rotate back and forth. It looks up and it looks down. You can also rock it back and forth too. As for the shoulders, even though he's got this large shoulder pad on the side that sports, of course, what faction he's affiliated with, you can easily still move the arms out. They're going at about 90 degrees, a little less than that. This arm actually moves out a little bit better. This one arm's a little tighter for me. The arm itself does also move forward and back. He also has a swivel at the bicep, double hinge on the elbow, like to see that, and the hands also rotate all the way around. Despite having so much mass on the front of his body, he still has a little bit of an upper torso ball joint. You can move that around. Legs split out. There's the ball joint working behind the scenes. Of course, you can take the top of the leg, and that rotates also as well. He seems to also have a 3/4 way swivel cut in his thigh, so there's a way to rotate the thigh there as well. Figure does also have a double hinge on the knee. No ankle or no boot articulation. I thought this would be something I'd be able to rotate. If it does rotate, it's just super tight on mine. Ankle pivot back and forth, ankle rocker as well. Firefly is a nice welcomed addition to what we've already got so far from, of course, the folks over at Hiya Toys. We seem to be getting a lot more Cobras than we are getting Joes. Now, of course, there's what he looks like with Cobra Commander. Here's also what he looks like with Destro. Taking some luxuries, I suppose, when it comes to designs of the characters. Destro sort of more the departure, because I'm so used to Destro having more black outfit than what we got here with the blue. Firefly looks the closest, I feel, to like his classic look, other than the fact, of course, they gave him this bomb disposal vest over top of his body. I wish ideally there would have been a way that you could have removed the vest, so if you wanted to have him a little leaner underneath, you could have done that. But it seems to be something that's built around his body. All in all, though, nice looking accessories. The one thing I really wish also that the figure could have also come included with, yes, it's nice that his pack does store both the drone and the stick of dynamite. But I wish also that they could have included a display stand, so there would have been a place at least to display the drone when it wasn't attached onto him. I think from what we've looked at so far from Hiya Toys and the G.I. Joe brand, Firefly by far has the coolest accessories. The fact that he has a backpack with a removable flying drone on the top and a stick of dynamite on the bottom, then a remote control, and even then a blaster on top of that, is really nice little touches that they've added to the idea that this guy is, of course, Cobra's saboteur and mercenary. The thing I also really like, and was surprised to see, is that the goggles were removable. They were a little finicky at first. It took a little bit of peeling them away from his mask. You might even, in fact, you have to do the exact same thing if you get this figure for yourself, but that you could leave them off if you want a more classic look to Firefly, or you can also slide them down, so it looks like he's got himself night vision. Truth be told, though, I would have liked if there could have been a storage space somewhere on the pack for both the gun and the remote control. It's the only two accessories that don't have a place unless you're storing them in the figure's hands. But top to bottom, though, Firefly's got to be the coolest one we've looked at so far. What do you guys think of this figure? Let me know in the comments section. Also, as well, I'd like to thank the folks over at Hiya that provided this sample of brand new G.I. Joe Cobra Saboteur. This was the Exquisite Mini of Firefly. The figure should be available right now. He's going for $39.99. Let me know if you've had the chance to pick this one up yet. If you enjoyed this video, do it a solid, throw it a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? I hope so. We may be wrapping up things right now for a guy that knows a little something about bombs. But right after that, we're going to be looking at G.I. Joe's trainer, that being Beachhead. His review will be right around the corner. So, of course, making sure, yes, you're doing all the things of hitting the subscribe, turning on that bell. But the most important thing is that you're coming back. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.